SpaceX launches Indian satellite GSAT-20 into space. Know why ISRO had to take help from Elon Musk. Elon Musk's company SpaceX has installed the Indian Space Agency ISRO's new satellite GSAT-20 or GSAT-N2 in space. In 34 minutes, this satellite was reached its designated place. SpaceX's Falcon 9 took off from Cape Canaveral, Florida on Tuesday carrying the Indian Space Research Organization's (ISRO) GSAT-20 communication satellite. The 4,700 kg Indian satellite has been designed to augment India's communication infrastructure with a Ka-band high-throughput communication payload with a mission duration of 14 years. Once operational, the satellite will provide critical services across the country, including internet connectivity to remote areas and in-flight internet services. The GSAT-N2 communication satellite is equipped with 32 user beams, including 8 narrow spot beams and 24 wide spot beams, which will be supported by hub stations located across India. State-run ISRO's commercial segment New Space India Ltd, NSIL, announced its first collaboration with Elon Musk's SpaceX earlier this year on 3rd January. India had reportedly launched more than 430 foreign satellites, but the satellite was so heavy that the Indian launch vehicle was unable to carry them to space. Had to do it. The launch marks the first commercial collaboration between ISRO and SpaceX since its history of relying on European launch services for heavy satellites. With Arianespace currently lacking operational rockets and geopolitical tensions, with Russia and China limited to their options, SpaceX has emerged as the best option for India. ISRO's heaviest launch vehicle, LVM-3, is capable of launching a 4,000 kg spacecraft into geosynchronous transfer orbit. However, the current demand is much more than that, forcing the Indian Space Agency to look beyond its scope. The satellite, which is now under control from ISRO and was the 396th flight of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket, launched from Cape Canaveral in Florida. How will India benefit from this 4,700 kg satellite? The satellite will further strengthen broadband connections and in-flight connectivity in the country, which means pilots will be able to establish better communication during the flight. It will work for 14 years. The satellite will continue to operate for the next 14 years. It was sought by New Space India Limited, NSIL, and is a demand-driven satellite mission. It is a Ka-band communication satellite. NSIL is the commercial wing of ISRO, which deals with private and government satellite launches for it. Internet will reach remote areas. It has 40 spot beams for Ka-band high-throughput communications, which can transmit a signal to a particular geographical area and provide internet service up to 48 gigabits per second speed. ISRO made a special demand. ISRO had demanded from SpaceX that no other satellite would go with this satellite, so that this satellite could be deployed in the precise orbit in real time. SpaceX specifically used the Falcon 9B5 rocket for this purpose. It is a 70-meter-long rocket weighing 549 tons. This rocket will be able to send satellites weighing up to 8,400 kilograms into geosynchronous orbit and 22,800 kg. It can send a satellite weighing 100 kilograms to the lower Earth orbit. The first stage of the Falcon 9 came back only 8 minutes after launching. The services of this satellite will be available soon. As soon as the satellite was deployed in an orbit 36,000 kilometers above India's land, ISRO's Master Control Facility at Hassan took over its control. Currently, ISRO does not have a suitable launch vehicle to launch 4,700 kilograms satellites into the GTO. Until more advanced and powerful launch vehicles are developed, ISRO will have to rely on foreign launch services or small and light satellite design. Significance of GSAT-20 satellite. GSAT-20 is an advanced communication satellite designed to strengthen India's digital connectivity mission. It uses Ka-band spectrum, which enables high-speed internet services. It is part of the Indian National Satellite System, INSAT GSAT, which is crucial for empowering internet and communication facilities in rural and remote areas. Why is ISRO unable to launch the 4,700 kg GSAT-20 satellite from its launch vehicle? ISRO is preparing to launch the GSAT-N2 satellite, also known as GSAT-20, using SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket. Scheduled for the second quarter of 2024, The mission is ISRO's first commercial launch with SpaceX and is part of a broader initiative to enhance internet connectivity, especially in-flight internet services, in India. The GSAT-20 satellite weighs about 4,700 kilograms and is designed to operate in the Ka-band frequency range, providing high-throughput satellite (HTS) capabilities with a throughput of about 48 gigabits per second. It has 32 user beams, 8 narrow spot beams focused on the northeast region and 24 wide spot beams covering the rest of India. However, ISRO is unable to launch GSAT-20, also known as GSAT-2, on its launch vehicle as the satellite weighs 4,700 kilograms. This is more than the maximum payload capacity of ISRO's existing heavy-lift rocket, Launch Vehicle Mark III, LVM-3, which can carry only 4,000 kilograms of payload to Geostationary Transfer Orbit, GTO. As a result, ISRO has contracted SpaceX to launch GSAT-20 using its Falcon 9 rocket, which can handle payloads of up to 8,300 kilograms. The decision was also influenced by the non-availability of commercial slots with Arianespace, ISRO's previous partner for heavy satellite launches, as their Ariane 5 rocket has been retired and the successor Ariane 6 is fully booked for upcoming launches. Moreover, geopolitical factors have kept limited options for ISRO. Russian rockets are currently unavailable due to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, and China is not a viable partner for India. Thus, SpaceX has become the most reliable option for launching heavy satellites such as GSAT-20. The launch is scheduled for 19 November 2024. ISRO's failure in timely development of heavy-lift launch vehicle. Why is ISRO unable to launch the 4,700 kg GSAT-20 satellite from its launch vehicle? The main reason why ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, is not able to launch the 4,700 kg GSAT-20 satellite using one of its launch vehicles is that the payload capacity of India's current launch vehicles is not high enough to send the 4,700 kg satellite into Geostationary Transfer Orbit, GTO. ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, has faced several challenges in developing heavy-lift launch vehicles, HLVs, which could significantly impact its capabilities in the global space market. ISRO has very little funds, and as a result the development of space systems is not taking place on time. One of the most important issues is the lack of advanced engine technology. ISRO has not fully mastered the semi-cryogenic engine, which is required for heavy-duty capacity. The current LVM-3-2 is short by international standards and has a payload capacity of less than a third of comparable rockets such as China's Long 5th March. The absence of high-thrust variants and advanced engines has hampered ISRO's ability to compete effectively in launching heavy payloads. Economic considerations play an important role in ISRO's strategy. Developing a new heavy-duty vehicle requires substantial investments, and at present, the domestic demand for such capabilities is insufficient. It is often more cost-effective for ISRO to book commercial launches with foreign providers like SpaceX than investing in developing its own heavy-handed capabilities that may not be used often. This reliance on foreign launch services reflects differences in domestic payload requirements that could justify the expense of developing HLVs. ISRO is working on the next-generation launch vehicle, NGLV, also known as Project SORE, which aims to increase its heavy-lift capacity by delivering payloads of up to 10 tons to Geosynchronous Transfer Orbit, GTO. However, the project is still in its early stages, requiring significant technological advancements and financing proposals before it can be realized. The first launch of the NGLV is expected around 2034 to 2035. ISRO's challenges in developing heavy-lift launch vehicles arise from long development timelines associated with engine technology, historical operational models, economic ideas, and new rocket technologies. While future projects like NGLV aim to address these shortcomings, the road ahead will have to overcome significant technological and market-related barriers. To understand this in detail, pay attention to the points given below. 1. Capability of GSLV Mk3, LVM-3. ISRO's most powerful launch vehicle, GSLV Mk3, LVM-3, can currently launch satellites weighing up to about 4,000 kg into GTO. The weight of GSAT-20, 4,700 kilograms, is more than this capacity, due to which this vehicle cannot carry this satellite to GTO. 2. High energy requirement for geostationary orbit. Placing a satellite in geostationary orbit requires more energy and advanced launch vehicles. A heavier satellite like GSAT-20 demands a more powerful and higher capacity rocket for launch. 3. Future planning, increasing GTO capacity. ISRO is currently working on developing semi-cryogenic engines and heavy-lift launch vehicles, which will be able to launch such heavy satellites in the future. The proposed GSLV Mk4 or other high-capacity vehicles may be capable of sending satellites weighing more than 5,000 kilograms to the GTO in the coming years. 4. Use of overseas launch services. ISRO often uses international launch services in such situations. For example, companies like Arianespace provide large-capacity launch vehicles, which can be used to launch heavier satellites such as GSAT-20. Earlier, ISRO had resorted to foreign launch vehicles for satellites like GSAT-31 and GSAT-30. 5. Options for heavier satellites. ISRO is gradually developing smaller and lighter satellite designs, such as the use of high-capacity electric propulsion systems, to lighten the requirements for launch vehicles. To gain an in-depth understanding of ISRO's launch capabilities, let us look at ISRO's strategy, future plans, and technology developments. Current status of launch vehicles. ISRO currently has 2 major launch vehicles. PSLV uses launching small and medium weight satellites into low Earth orbit, LEO. Load carrying capacity, about 1,750 kilograms, for GTO. GSLV usage, launching heavy satellites into GTO. GSLV Mk2, up to 2,500 kg. GSLV Mk3, LVM3 up to 4,000 kg. Problem: the weight of GSAT-20 is more than the limit of LVM3. Future technology and plans. ISRO is working on several projects to increase its launch capability in the coming time. Semi-cryogenic engine, SC-120. This engine will provide more energy and load-bearing capacity. With this, vehicles like the GSLV Mk4, which will be able to carry a payload of 6,000 kilograms or more to the GTO, are being developed. 2. Reusable Launch Vehicle, RLV. ISRO is developing reusable launch vehicles in future, which will help bring down costs and increase launch capacity. This technology will be similar to SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket. 3. Electric Propulsion System. To reduce the weight of heavy satellites, ISRO is using electric propulsion technology in satellites. It gives the satellite the ability to move into orbit with its own force, thereby reducing the load on the launch vehicle. 4. OneWeb and other launch partnerships. ISRO has partnered with OneWeb and other international institutions. Through these partnerships, ISRO is not only exchanging technical knowledge but also testing new technologies. Alternative to foreign launch vehicles. When the weight of a satellite exceeds the limit of Indian vehicles, ISRO often resorts to international services. Arianespace. France's Arianespace is known for launching large and heavy satellites into GTO. ISRO has used Ariane 5 rocket for GSAT-31 and GSAT-30 in the past. SpaceX Falcon 9 and Starship. If ISRO builds heavier satellites in the future, technologies such as SpaceX's Falcon 9 or Starship could be used. SpaceX's vehicles are cost-effective and have a high load-carrying capacity. Challenge and opportunity. Developing an Indian launch vehicle requires time and money. International competition is increasing, such as SpaceX and China's Long March series. An opportunity to increase self-reliance in the space sector. Ability to develop new launch vehicles in collaboration with private Indian companies, such as Skyroot and Agnikul. To launch heavier satellites like GSAT-20, ISRO needs advanced launch vehicles and international partnerships. However, ISRO is rapidly enhancing its technological capabilities. In future, India will be able to address such challenges through semi-cryogenic engines and electric propulsion technology. I would like to share more information about ISRO and its technology, capabilities, and plans to understand the subject in more depth. 1. ISRO's current space mission scenario. Over the years, ISRO has made significant recognition globally on the basis of its reliability and resourcefulness. Its major contributions include the following. Satellite launch capability. ISRO has developed different types of satellites, communication, navigation, Earth observation, and scientific research. The GSAT-20, which is part of ISRO's Advanced Communication Satellite series, will strengthen digital connectivity in India. Reliability and cost-effectiveness. ISRO is known for conducting its launch missions at low cost. The biggest examples of this are the Mars Orbiter mission, MOM, and Chandrayaan-2, which are symbols of achieving great success at a low cost. Commercial satellite launch. ISRO has strengthened its hold in the commercial market by launching small and medium satellites from other countries. PSLV is called the workhorse as it has put 300+ foreign satellites into orbit. 2. ISRO's long-term strategies. Gaganyaan mission. Gaganyaan will be ISRO's first manned mission, in which Indian astronauts, Gaganauts, will be sent to space. Under this, ISRO has developed cryogenic technology and new systems. Chandrayaan-3 and Aditya L1 mission. Chandrayaan-3 is India's next moon mission, with a focus on soft landing on the lunar surface. The Aditya L1 mission will be India's first dedicated solar mission to study the sun's corona. Space tourism and privatization. ISRO is working on the possibilities of space tourism in the future. There are plans to rope in private Indian companies such as Skyroot Aerospace and Agnikul into the launch services. ISRO's vehicles, present and future. PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, for Earth observation and small satellites. Capacity, up to 1,750 kilograms, GTO. GSLV, Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, for communications and heavy satellites. Capacity of GSLV Mk3, LVM-3 4,000 kilograms, GTO. SSLV, Small Satellite Launch Vehicle, to launch small satellites quickly and at a low cost. Future vehicles. RLV, Reusable Launch Vehicle, development of reusable vehicles. ULV, Unified Launch Vehicle for both LEO and GTO. Semi-cryogenic engine, for GSLV Mk4, which will be able to carry up to 6,000+ kg. International cooperation and competition. Cooperation. ISRO has collaborated with space organizations like NASA, ESA, and Russia. OneWeb mission. Recently, ISRO launched 72 satellites for OneWeb. Competition. ISRO mainly faces competition from SpaceX, China's CNSA, and European Arianespace. SpaceX's technologies such as Starship and Falcon Heavy pose a challenge for ISRO. GSAT-20 and its significance for space connectivity. Contribution to Digital India mission. GSAT-20 will power 5G internet services in India. It will provide connectivity to rural and remote areas. Advanced technology. Electric propulsion system, to reduce weight and increase satellite life. Ka-band, high data transmission speed. Global communication services. India may plan to provide communication services internationally through GSAT-20. Key challenges facing ISRO. Technology update. Need for new technologies for extremely heavy satellite launches. Development of reusable technology and heavy-lift vehicles. International competition. Facing cheap and large vehicles from SpaceX and China's CNSA. Financial and management issues. Limited budget and proper utilization of resources. ISRO has made many achievements in space technology and launch services, but existing vehicles are inadequate for heavy satellites like GSAT-20. Going forward, ISRO will enhance its capabilities through advanced launch vehicles, international collaborations, and technology development. GSAT-20 is not only a symbol of India's space ambitions, it will also fulfill the dream of a digital India. If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe.